So you know I'm a tech channel and I like looking around the internet for tech news and also gaming news because of course I'm also a gamer. So I'm also looking for these types of stories to keep my channel relevant and to keep content flowing on my channel. And recently, really recently, I stumbled on to this story and I thought this story was very interesting, or this thing was very interesting. So you may be familiar with the hardware scene or the hacking scene. A lot of people in the gaming industry like making different projects and trying to do a lot of different things with gaming, and a lot of people like making their own consoles out of original hardware. And this is not really a new principle. I've actually seen these on YouTube and I've seen these around, but apparently this is the first world's smallest working portable Wii that a person made. And I thought this was absolutely mind blowing and absolutely an awesome concept. How this person pretty much took a full working original Wii, not the Wii U, original Wii from back in 2006 or 2007, and made a fully portable working version of the actual console. Now, keep in mind, I am going to show you some videos of this actually working, because they did post a YouTube video on this and they fully talk about how they made this, why they made this, and things like this. So just take note, this is not my video and I did not do this, so do not get confused by that. All credits go out to the person who made this thing. Shout out to them because they are an amazing person. I think they actually had some work with some of their other friends to actually make this thing work. So it wasn't just solely them, but they did a lot of the work anyway, and a lot of the concept for this system. And overall, this is pretty much mind-blowing how you can take the original Wii. I think they had to chop down the motherboard and they had to do a whole bunch of modifications to get it working. Basically, how this thing works is they pretty much took an Altoids can, which you know, Altoids are mints, and they pretty much put a full working portable Wii into a Altoids can, and that's pretty mind-blowing considering how small an Altoids can is. An Altoids can is pretty small, so to get a full functioning Wii in an Altoids can is actually pretty revolutionary and pretty mind-blowing. Now, as you can see in the video, he does go ahead and open the Altoids can, so it shows you the work that they actually did for the this portable Wii. And as you can see, for this small portable Wii, you can see that the job they did really wasn't that good of a job. You can see that they pretty much just tried to cram everything in as long as it could fit. They did had to do some modifications to the original Wii hardware. Of course, he even stated they had to cut the board down because, of course, the original Wii obviously is going to fit in a much more bigger case. And obviously, if you were to rip the guts out and try to put it into like an Altoids can or into a smaller body, of course, common sense is you're going to have to do some modifications, cut the board down, cram it in there, and things like that. So you can see it doesn't really look like a good job, but then they go on to state in the video that they just tried to see if they can make the world's smallest portable Wii. They weren't trying to make it like an actual working machine. Well, it does work, but they weren't really trying to make it like functional. They just wanted to see if it was possible to put it in an Altoids can, and indeed it is possible to put it into an Altoids can, which is a pretty amazing. There's even a fan in there, but the fan in there is not that good. They go on to state in the video the world's smallest working portable Wii that they invented with the Altoid cans only runs about 10 minutes. At about like 8-9 minutes, it really starts getting super hot in there. Even with the current fan they have in there, it just starts to overheat. Luckily, the machine actually powers down right before it actually overheats. So it never overheats, because you're only allowed to play the thing for about 10 minutes before it actually shuts off. Then you have to charge it. I guess one other bad thing is, I guess it pulls too much current, or the battery they have in there is not really big enough to power this thing on, and they don't really have good ventilation on this thing. They do have air vents in the Altoids can. They pretty much just drilled holes into the Altoids can. They have a hole in the top of the Altoids can for more airflow and more cooling, but overall the cooling system is not that great in there. But again, they weren't really trying to make this as like a long-term project or like something that you're going to be playing on hours on hours on hours. They pretty much just wanted to see if it was possible to put a fully functioning Wii into a Altoids can. That's a portable system. He even states in the video that this project that they had going with the this world's smallest portable Wii is the fact that it's really uncomfortable to actually play. It's not that comfortable to play. As you can see, the screen's not that big. They used the 3DS analog sticks that are on 3DSs, and those aren't all that comfortable. Then you can see he doesn't really have proper buttons, and on his build, they pretty much just made it as fast as possible with just parts laying around and stuff like that. You can see that the start button is actually broken off, and the start button cannot actually be used in the actual game system correctly. You have to use like a take like a pin and actually hit it with a pin inside the casing for it to actually use the start button. And they actually show some gameplay of a game. The game that he was actually playing in the video was Super Smash Brothers Brawl Wii. I mean, Super Smash Brothers Melee. I'm confused. I said Brawl, I said Wii, whatever. Super Smash Brothers regardless. He's playing one of the Super Smash Brothers games on GameCube. Now, of course, since this is a portable Wii, and this is one of the world's smallest portable Wiis, of course, they can't have the disk drive that plays the games, so you're not going to have a disk drive in there because obviously it's way too big for this type of thing. And of course, even if they were to get it worked, they'd have to make it bigger, get a bigger battery, get more heating and everything. So if he did get it somehow to work with a disk drive, then it probably wouldn't even last 10 minutes. It'd probably only last more like 1 or 2 minutes before this thing would actually overheat or shut down, or maybe it wouldn't even power on if they had a disk drive. So what they did, of course, is to get around this limitation of having a small Wii, not having a disk drive, what they actually did was they hacked the Wii. And if you don't know anything about hacking your Wii, if you hack your Wii, you can actually put games on a hard drive or a memory card or a USB flash drive. So those are different options you can do with a hacked Wii. So that's pretty much what they have. They have pretty much a soft modded hacked Wii into an Altoids can. That's a portable system. Overall, it really doesn't look too comfortable to use overall. I like the design of this thing. I can say it's a pretty cool design for what he did. I'm still mind blown that you have this thing that's so small, an Altoids can that's playing full functioning games. And one cool thing that you may not be aware of with this portable Wii, which he doesn't show off in the video, he only talks about how that this Wii's playing GameCube games and can play Wii games. Well, he doesn't demonstrate it. He does talk about this, but he doesn't demonstrate it in the video. I'm talking about the fact that in this build of the actual super portable Wii that he's built, you can actually play games that do support the Wii motes, and if it has motion built on it, you can actually play them. He just doesn't demonstrate them in the video. So for instance, if you wanted to play a game like Wii Sports, and I'm like losing it here, I'm like having a brain fart, but if you wanted to play a game like Wii Sports, you can play Wii Sports on this thing, because he did put in sensors on the actual portable Wii itself. There's like 2 Bluetooth sensors that are plugged into the I think the board of the system, or the motherboard, and then you can actually play games that use it. I don't know why you would want to, since this is a portable system. If you were to do that, it would kind of take away from the whole aspect of being portable, because of course you're gonna have to sit down the portable system, take out the Wiimote, and then move it around the screen and things. It just wouldn't make sense. And the fact that the screen on this thing is only like 2.53 inches, so it's a very tiny screen, so it just wouldn't make sense to use games that really use motion controls. But the fact that he even got this thing to work with motion controls is absolutely mind-blowing. And on top of that, it's built into the portable Wii itself. You don't have to use the sensor bar, you don't have to plug it in somewhere, so you don't have an extra piece laying around. I just thought that was very cool. And of course, you can probably do whatever you want to do with this thing. So anything you can do with a hacked Wii, you can probably do on this portable Wii that he's made, providing of course you can get it done in 10 minutes. So if you want to do other emulation on this, or if you want to install whatever you want to install on this, that would actually be pretty cool. You can probably do it on this. I'm not quite sure if this thing actually had Wi-Fi. I didn't really figure that out in this video, but overall, just to have one of the world's smallest working portable Wiis is absolutely fantastic. Sure, it doesn't look that great. Sure, his job wasn't that great. Sure, he just crammed it into the thing. It doesn't look like the best job, but just to see this thing working is mind-blowing, because I know a lot of people out there can't even do this thing. So for somebody that's just an average person just trying to figure this thing out, or maybe even if they have a little bit background in like engineering or something like that, just absolutely blows my mind that someone got something this small to work. So it's pretty cool. You see an original Wii that's pretty big, not the biggest console out there, but it's still pretty big for what it is. And you take that whole thing and cram it in your pocket into an Altoids can is absolutely pretty awesome. Maybe in the future, if they got this thing working a little bit better, maybe they can actually make more of these things to sell, or maybe they can have a better version that he can refine in the future that maybe can last like 3 to 4 hours, or even an hour at tops, or even 50 minutes would actually still be a very good idea. Not expecting maybe 10, 12 hours out of this thing, but just to have something that could run much more efficient and play longer would be be awesome. I don't even really care if the controls on this thing were actually not that good and your hands were cramped. Just to see more battery life out of this thing compared to the 10 hour, compared to the 10 minutes that he got out of this originally would actually be awesome. But overall, I got to give this guy props for making this world's smallest portable working Wii 2. It's not a prototype. It kind of is a prototype since there's a lot of limitations, but then again, it does fully function, does fully work, and he did show it working, which is absolutely fantastic. So big props to him for making this portable Wii. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from MyTech News, signing out.